Hey guys, welcome to Rach Talk, my weekly show where I sit here, drink caffeine, and talk about random things. This week, I'm showing you my new guitar skills. Oh, and I'm talking about The Bad Vegan on Netflix. And lastly, telling you how to break up with a friend. Let's just go ahead and start at the top. I did it. Cut it off. And if this is your first time here or you haven't memorized the length of my hair, Jack, I'm going to need a side-by-side right here of what it looked like last time versus now. I chopped my hair. And by chopped, I mean I brought it right to here. Because you may recall that Boo was a little sad about the idea of a haircut. And he was like, oh, please don't. So I feel like we met in the middle, literally. I probably would have gone like a here moment, Jack. But just to, here she is. She's sassy, she's new, she's fresh, she's ready for spring, she's ready for summer. And in an upcoming episode of this show, I'm going to do something really exciting, Jack. I'm going to wear my hair back. I know, it's wild. What you don't understand because you don't have hair extensions is that when you have really long hair extensions, you can't wear it back or it hurts. It gives you a headache almost immediately. So one of my favorite parts about having short hair is the low bun / hoop look. So get ready. Nobody's ready because nobody cares but me. I care. I'm pumped. But yeah, I got a haircut. I got they have to take your extensions out and put new extensions in, and it's a whole process, and it takes approximately 9 years. And I feel lighter, I feel brighter, I feel more like me, more aligned, Jack, really. It's basically remember that time I was wearing the crystal to align myself? This is the crystal now, my hair. Also the crystal, are you dying, Jack? Are you dying for this necklace? Guys, my search for great vintage pieces continues, and this is my latest find, okay? Right now, you're like, okay, wow, that's a statement snake necklace. It is. It's from the 80s, but here's what you don't understand. Guys, are you ready? Are your hearts ready? Maybe do I want a bolo tie moment? Because I can do that. Do I want it to be a belt? Do I want it to be like a choker? What do I want? What do I need? Whatever it is, it's here with this snake. And when I went into this vintage shop and I saw this in her case, she was like, oh, these are really cool. They're from the 80s. They use them as necklaces and belts. And whenever I get one, it's here for 2 seconds and someone steals it. So I stole it. I swiped it. I mean, I didn't really steal it. I paid actual money for it. But I'm in love with it. And I feel I can't see it now, Jack. I'm going to assume, will you be my stylist? It looks good. You feel good about how it looks? So I just got back from Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. Shout out to Tennessee. I see you. For a minute, I almost lived in you. I did consider, when I was moving from LA, I was trying to decide where we were going to live, and we considered Austin and Nashville and ended up here in Austin, which I love. But I do also appreciate all that Nashville has to offer. But I went to Nashville because I went to a songwriting conference, Jack. Songwriting. Now, flashback to several weeks ago when I told you guys that I was learning. Did I tell them that? Okay, when I told you guys that I was learning how to write songs. So one of my goals in life as a writer is to write in as many categories as possible. Someday I'll try poetry and screenplay and theater and whatever. But my latest thing is songwriting. And I learn anything the same way I've learned everything. So when I wanted to write books, I just found every documentary, every book I could read, and every conference I could go to, and so I'm approaching songwriting the same way. So your girl rolled into Nashville and rolled into a songwriting conference. I can't even explain songwriters in Nashville. So I had watched my fair share of Now, wait, hold on. Did anyone watch the show Nashville? I never saw that show. I'm sure it's wonderful. I think that's where a lot of people learned about. I don't know that world. I don't know why I just talk like a robot. But anyway, I started watching documentaries and I kept seeing people say the same thing over and over about songwriters in Nashville. They said Nashville songwriters are one of the last like creative categories where the most successful people in the field still take time to teach the absolute newbies how to do what they're doing. And I saw that and I was like, well, that's beautiful. And like Southern people, oh man, I love this like town, whatever. And I went to a conference and watched that happen in real life. Like, I literally cannot believe the people, there were only 150 people at this thing, and I cannot believe the songwriters that were sitting on the stage. Like, first of all, very few artists are actually writing their own songs, which I had no idea. I'm sorry, I'm so naive. This whole time I thought like, man, that Brad Paisley, he is, but not by himself. And like every single person that you love, and you're like, oh, that's an amazing song that so-and-so wrote about his wife. No, he didn't. Some guy named Joe wrote that about his wife and then sold it to that person, and that person recorded it, which is awesome because it's like super collaborative and everybody works together. And I got to sit and listen to these people tell story after story where there'd be like, literally like, because it's Nashville, they're like with a piano or they're like strumming a guitar, and they're like, oh, one time I was like sitting at my house and I was like drinking, whiskey, and then I was like, I got friends in low places, and they'll be like, like it was so insane, song after song. And I guess because I love country music, I was tripping out about these incredible writers. There was a guy who spoke at this conference who has 58 number one songs. 58. Right now, he is nominated for Best Song for Grammys in 2 categories, rock and country. What? And he's just like, oh, here's how I write a song. And in case you're wondering, if your girl rolls into a conference, I don't care if it's like auto mechanics, how to write a song, how to write a book, where do you think I'm sitting? Where do you think I'm sitting, Jack? If you had to, you got it. I mean, I am down front. I am there 20 minutes early. I have my notebook. I've got my water. I'm ready. Teacher, teach me, show me the way, let me understand. I'm taking notes. The first person who spoke was so amazing. I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but he was so incredible. And, he gets to sort of like 45 minutes into it, and he's like, does anyone have questions? And the room's crickets. And I'm like, he's like, oh, just there in the front. What are you curious about? But I like to think that I open up the floor for everybody, because then everyone had questions, Jack. They were just too afraid to ask, but I will go first. So, so I went to this conference and it was really fun, and I'm taking guitar lessons because right now my role in songwriting sessions, Jeffrey's here. Of course, he's here barking at something. Right now, in my songwriting stuff, I'm writing lyrics and someone else is writing melody and music. And I'm like, if I could understand how to write melody and music, I basically am going to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, guys. So I'm taking guitar lessons. And Jack, would you like to see what I know how to do so far?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look at me with the guitar, guys. First of all, if you're not familiar with my story, or if you haven't read books, I lost my older brother a really long time ago, and he was an incredible musician, and guitar was his main instrument. And I tried to take guitar lessons probably about 10 years ago or something, and honestly, my fingers hurt, so I gave up. But this is the year where I stopped being a weenie, and I do scary things, and I do things that are hard. So I literally still have indentions in my fingers from practicing this morning because it hurts, because steel strings really freaking hurt. Are any of you guitar players? Do you know tell me how long it's going to be until I get the calluses and my fingers stop hurting? I'd love to know. I have my brother's guitar, and then I have some of his picks, and I went and pulled this out the other day because this was one of Ryan's picks, and it's so cool. It has teeth marks in it because my brother, when he would tune, would hold it in his mouth and do that. And when I pulled it out the other day, I like started crying because I thought, oh my God. I mean, he's been gone 22 years, I think. And the idea that, no, 25, it's been a long time. He's been gone a long time. And the fact that I have something that has like his teeth marks in it. I'm sorry if you think that's weird. I thought it was so cool. So here's what I know how to do. Everyone, get ready. I think that's E minor. I'm not sure, but I know that's a chord I've been working on. Here it is again. Yeah, that's all I got. I can play the strings. I can tune my guitar. Do you know that there are apps, Jack, where you can tune your guitar? It's so crazy. And then this is E major, I think, or something, but I never get this one quite right. Oh, that wasn't too bad. See, that's when you're not holding your fingers right. I'm gonna work on that. More soon. I didn't say it was good. I just said I knew how to do some things. And so far I can tune and play 2 chords. I can't wait until like we have this as a flashback and then I'm like, honestly, I tried to take lessons from an adult. I don't know why I said adult, like as opposed to taking them from a child. I don't know what that means. I tried to take guitar lessons and honestly, I did one lesson. I kind of felt like it's going to be the same thing as last time where I left this lesson. I felt totally confused about what I was doing. And I was like, well, that sucked. And I don't really know anything. Honestly, didn't want to do another lesson. I wasn't that excited. And I was like, God, this sucks. Like, I'm never really going to be into this because it's not fun to me. And then I was watching YouTube videos about like manifesting or being at a higher vibration because I'm cool like that. And I got served an ad. And the ad that I got served, probably because I've been looking up guitar stuff on YouTube, was an ad for an app that teaches you to play guitar. So what I'm telling you is not an ad. Honestly, I always feel like I want to say that because I don't want you to think I'm saying this because someone gave me money to do it. I don't know these people at all. But I got served an ad on YouTube for an app that's called Simply Guitar. And as far as I can tell, this app is teaching me to play guitar as if I'm learning how to play Guitar Hero. Do you guys remember that game? It like gamifies learning. I already downloaded Simply Piano. I didn't even know I was gonna learn how to play piano, but now I am, Jack, because I'm over here killing it at Simply Guitar. I've made it through 2 lessons, so watch out. So I'm practicing every single day for at least 10 minutes, because that's what I heard, especially in the beginning. Look at can you see my fingertips? I look like I'm blessing you. And also with you. Yeah, someone tell me when this stops. Someone tell me when I'll have calluses. I did hear that I could get lighter strings, which I got from Amazon, but I'm going to have to watch another YouTube video to figure out how to put those on. And should I be concerned at all that if I undo a string that it's going to pop and explode and hurt me? No? Do you know that for sure? You're just taking a guess?
For sure.
Okay. Have you done that with a guitar before? You've taken the strings off?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You play guitar?
Yeah.
Really? Someone asked the other day, someone asked in a comment if they were going to see a picture, if they're going to see Jack. Jack's been around, man. He's been in videos. He's been at conferences. I feel like if you haven't seen him, he's back in hiding now. If you haven't ever heard me talk about it on podcasts before, I have a hotline where people can call in and ask questions or tell me something that's happening in their life or share some good news. It's awesome. It's been around for a long while. And I use the ideas from that hotline to create podcast episodes. I thought it would be fun if I answered one of those questions here on Rach Talk. So, Nicole, will you just play one at random and then I shall answer whatever I hear.
Hi Rachel, my name is Sarah. I wanted to get some advice on how to break up, I guess, with a friend or friends. I know you've talked about how you know when to end the relationship, more in like the romantic sense, but I'm having trouble with wanting to cling on to friends that I've known for 20-something years, but I know they're no longer good for me, for the person I am now, and I'm struggling with how to let them go, and I'm just wondering any advice you might have about that. Thank you so much. Bye.
Where to even begin? How to break up with friends. Now, I am going to be totally honest. For most of my life, and even still have a bit of this today, I'm not super confrontational. And the older I get, the more I understand that an unwillingness to be confrontational, not in a mean way or an aggressive way, but an unwillingness to face what's going on gets me into trouble again and again and again. So when it comes to people in your life that you know in your heart of hearts should not be there, as much as it sucks, I think that you have to approach it the same way you would approach breaking up with a romantic relationship. Now, the first thing I would say, because we were actually chatting about this this morning, that you give someone at least the chance to make it right. So one of the people on our team was saying that they had a friend who the friend really only ever reached out, only called, only was friends with them when they needed or wanted something, when they were coming to town and they wanted a place to stay, or when they wanted to listen to them complain or to vent. And they realized they'd been friends with them for a really long time, but they realized like that friend doesn't ever actually give anything back to me. They just take. It's sort of like a vampire that's just sucking life out of you, but they don't ever return that. It's absolutely normal to have a relationship where there are seasons where one of you maybe needs a little extra support and love, as long as it flips back in the other direction. It shouldn't just sort of constantly be like this. So he felt like it was necessary to tell that friend, I can't do this anymore. And I think in that instance, or if you have something similar and you feel like there are redeeming qualities to your friend, it's worth just saying, here's what I'm having issue with, or saying to that person, you know what, I feel like this is a little bit one-sided and I'm not going to reach out to check on you anymore. If you want to be friends, you're going to reach out to me and we're going to sort of take it from there. So you give the person a chance to make it right, because honestly, it's possible that they don't know how they're behaving, or maybe they've never seen a healthy relationship modeled. So they're not even sure how you're supposed to be friends with someone. They're just kind of doing what they've always seen, or maybe what they were taught. So giving them a chance if that feels appropriate. And if it doesn't, man, it sucks, but I think you have to be honest. Look, I absolutely have times where I have just sort of stopped communicating with people. Like I've totally done the thing where I have people who are like, this is one of my biggest pet peeves in life. If you know a friend, or if you have a friend who's like constantly like, oh my, we should totally hang out. Like I would just love to, I would love to see you. Oh my gosh, I want to see you. Let's do something. And you're like, okay, when? What day? I got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the next 3 weeks. Do any of those work for you? I can do 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., any time slot in there. And they're like, we should definitely, let me circle back. I'm going to talk. Like those people who are always talking about how they want to, but they never do. One of my biggest pet peeves, those people I just let go. Because I guarantee you stop reaching out to people and you watch how small your friend circle gets real fast. But the beauty of that is what's left behind are the people who actually show up, add value, matter to your life. So that's one thing. I only have one instance in my life where I broke up with a friend. And to be honest, it was still in a time of my life where I was like very non-confrontational, but I just got so frustrated and so fed up that I used my anger as a catalyst to just have a hard conversation. And I just said to her, like, this is not okay. I'm not okay with the way this is going. I'm not okay with the way that you're behaving. And it's time for us to part ways. And I wish you well, sending you all the love and all the light, but I don't want to be part of this anymore. And in that instance, she was an Enneagram 8, if you know what that means. And she was like ready for a fight. She was ready for an argument. And once I said my piece, I was done. I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to keep going through that conversation. It's done. And I think you know that relationship with your friend best. So I don't know. It's like, it's hard because I don't know the context. Like if this person is a super jerk, throw a deuce up and bounce, right? But if this person is someone you love, but it's just not appropriate, or maybe they're triggering you in ways like sometimes our friends from a different period of our life, like a period in college where we used to drink a lot or like party or do whatever, and now you're trying to make different choices, but you still have those friends that whenever you get around them, you're sort of triggered back into that way of behavior. That's really dangerous. And so I think as hard as it is, you just have to have the courage to have a tough conversation. I love you. I wish you well. This has nothing to do with you, but for where I'm going in my life, I can't sort of step back into this behavior. I'm curious. You know what's weird, guys, is we have gotten so many, I don't even know the number, but so many voice notes lately asking about friends. Like, how do I make friends? Or what do I do if my friend's toxic? Or how do I break up with a friend? And I'm like so curious what's going on in the world that this feels like is that, yeah, what do you think it's like COVID, pandemic? Like, why do you feel like friendship is like a harder thing right now? I'm asking some gals in their 20s, in case you're wondering why I'm looking over here. Jack doesn't have friends, so he can't help. I'm your only friend, right?
People are flaky right now.
People are very flaky right now. I totally agree.
I think as we get older too, like, I think for our age at least, our circle's starting to become smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I guess that's an interesting thing. Does a smaller circle scare you or feel bad or wrong or?
Gives me more comfort.
Yeah, it should. A small circle, man, that's all I want. People have like 10,000 friends or like 50 friends. Honestly, when I started dating Boo, I asked this question, like, how many people are in your circle? Because in my close circle of friends, there's 3. You know them. I talk about them all the time. They've been on here continuously. Could flash pictures right now of us being cute, Jack. Literally 3. That's what I got. I was like, how many people are in your circle? And because of the industry he's inside of and he's worked with so many people for years, he's like, God, okay, like tight circle, 25. Just like a little bit larger than that, 150. And I was like, what? And he's like people that like know for a fact that if they were broken down on the side of the road that I would come and pick them up. Like, yeah, like 150. And I was like, oh my Lord, I am stressed out. That is so many people. God bless, because he really is that person that you could have not talked to him for 5 years and he would come and get you. But no, I'm good. I got 3. We're solid. I'm not trying to add. Yeah, I'm not trying to add. Should I be trying to add? I don't know. No, I feel good about what's happening. Also, I'm very conscious of the fact that my shirt has a hole in it, and that's the vibe of the shirt. You can't see the back, but there's more holes, and I just feel the need to talk about it right now in case someone is like, Rachel doesn't know she has a hole in her shirt. I do. It was a look. It's from Free People. You know what they like to do. They like to make a shirt, cut 1,000 scratches into it, and then charge you $500. That's the vibe. And this isn't new. This is very old because I don't buy new clothes. Hey, if you are digging this episode or if you've watched more than one, maybe you just subscribe to my channel or hit the little bell so you get a notification every single time we post a new episode. I like hanging out with you. I hope you like hanging out with me. Let's make this official. Oh my God. Oh my. Have you guys seen Bad Vegan? Okay, I realize that for some weird reason, all I do is tell you documentaries to watch. I don't know how, that's all I watch, but so that's all I got to tell you. Okay, let me paint a picture. So I had been on spring break with my kids and I had taken them to Hawaii, just the 5 of us. So me and 4 children, which was so much fun. We honestly had the best time. Side note, weirdly, I had no idea, but my oldest boys are really into 90s country.
Won't you give me a sign? I'll give anything to make your body on mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Do you know it, Noah?
If they were like, we started a nonprofit helping children, I don't know that I could feel more pride and joy than them telling me that they were listening to 90s country. Like, how crazy. That is the music of my childhood. And they proved it by, they were like, oh, do you know this song? And I was like, do I know this song? Do I know it? I don't know, bro. Did you record the video on a VHS tape and watch it with Aunt Linda while you were brushing her hair? Because I did. That just sounded weird, but I did like to brush Aunt Linda's hair when I was a little girl. Anyway, so I'm in Hawaii by myself with the kids. So much fun, but also a lot of work. It takes, 8 hours and it's a whole thing to get there. And bleh. I come back, okay? They go to be with their dad. I'm by myself. Okay, Boo's working. I'm here, no one around. And I haven't been alone without the kids in this house. I can't even tell you the last time I was in my home without my children here on a night. It was like a Saturday night, Jack. So I says to myself, what are we gonna do? Okay, you could do anything. Go anywhere. And I did. It was South by Southwest, a big festival here in Austin. And I had passes and my name was on lists and I could go and do the thing. I'm like, you can do anything. What are you gonna do? Salad, refried beans, chips from Torchy's. It's delicious. And I'm gonna watch some Netflix, okay? So I open up Netflix. I'm like, what do you have to offer me? And I see a thing for something called Bad Vegan. And I'm like, I'm not that interested in this because I'm like, I don't really care about a vegan. But I can't find anything. You know when you do that thing where you're like, I just spent 20 minutes watching trailers for things that I didn't watch. It's annoying. I don't want to give up on my vision for this moment. So I'm like, I'll just watch a trailer for the show Bad Vegan.
She had to perform a series of tests. He promises her that he is going to make Sarma and her dog immortal. It's a complete madness.
You know about the meat suit?
What is the meat suit? Oh, no.
The trailer definitely made me say, yes, I will. Because I have a weird, if there is a documentary series about someone starting a cult or getting really, really deep into a specific niche and it going awry, I've seen it. I've seen them all. I've watched them all. And do you know what it's about, Jack? There's this gal in New York in early 2000s, maybe? Does that sound right? Okay, who starts a vegan restaurant. It's one of the first vegan restaurants in New York. And the restaurant's really successful and all the celebrities go to it and it's great. She seems great and her staff loves her. And then she meets a guy on Twitter.
You told me you wanted happily ever after.
If I tell you to take all your money out of the bank and light it on fire, do it.
I literally, when I was watching it, because I knew I would have to talk to you guys about this because I was freaking out. And if you have seen it, please comment below because there's no way you also were not freaking out. I started videoing myself watching it, but I looked so hideous that day, Jack. And I wasn't wearing a bra, because they're just here and whatever. And I was like, well, this footage is never going to see the light of day. Stop. You know what? It basically was just me watching my computer no, what? Stop. And then I knew no way Boo will watch this. This is not his, he wants to believe people are good. He wants to go listen to some birds chirp in the backyard. He refuses to watch these kind of crazy documentary things with me. And so I'm like, I need someone else. If I had known you watched it, you would have gotten a call from me on a weekend. It would have been inappropriate. I need someone to watch this. I literally sent a text to my 15-year-old son. And I said, and I quote, I went through 52 hours of labor with you, and I'm only asking one thing in return. It is that you watch episode 1 so that I can have someone to talk about this with. And he was like, geez, Mom, calm down. I'm like, no, I can't be calm. I can't carry on. This guy, it's so well done, Jack. Oh my gosh. Please watch it. I don't think there's anything inappropriate in it. Just full on, you're like, how? Did you see the Fire Festival documentaries? Okay, it's that kind of thing where you're like, no way people will keep falling for this. This poor woman, you're like, there is no way this chick is gonna fall for, nope, she just, oh, you giving her more money? Okay, great. And then at the end, did you see to the very end? When it was kind of wait a minute. What? Holy It is so good, you guys. Oh, it's like sort of like Tiger King vibes where you're like, that's not true. It's true. It's vegan, bad vegan. Netflix needs to start giving me some money. They're like, we're not giving you money. You just keep talking about it for free. All right, guys, I hope that this episode made you laugh. I hope you were very impressed by my guitar playing skills. And until I see you next week, remember, I love you and I'm rooting for you.